slate and drain the swamp completely is for Gen Z as a movement to just have one party, and then all Gen Z, since you're 75% of the population, if all of you can unite and agree this is what you're doing, you do it, then you can clean the slate. But I don't see how it's ultimately going to work out in our advantage if, for instance, you have several people coming in, because the more you divide yourselves party wise and on the ballot, the more likely that people will go in and vote for people who you know what I mean. Like the tribal shit will start coming up. Like I have 3 Gen Zs here, even if one is not blah 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 blah. I'll vote for the one that comes from my tribe. But if you all hang on one thing and come under one umbrella, like we're Gen Zs, period. This is our party, period. These are our candidates, period. People like me will go in and vote for you. But then it's upon you guys to make sure that people you nominate, you vet them. And the other thing I wanted to say is it's really mundane for us to make sure we have young people in office going forward. Look at where the future is heading. The future is heading in AI. I'll give a classic example. We saw what happened to Facebook. And Facebook had the Mark Zuckerberg, or whatever his face is, had to go in front of Congress to answer questions. But the people questioning him are old. These are old people. You're talking about old people who were in American governance. They don't even understand how to use Facebook. You know what I mean? So we need you young people in office, because the future is heading to AI. They think that social media is detrimental. You're the only people who understand AI. We can't have these old people in office. No.
Can I say something briefly? Okay, thank you. So just the way I was trying to, bring up my point, that even on the issue, I think we need to be pragmatic in our approach now, because somebody we are also dealing with, maybe known to a few of us, is a master political strategist. Like if you check at the issue of Finance Bill 2024, I do believe that not all battles we can win in the streets. Like on the issue of Finance Bill 2024, I've been, telling some of my friends in these spaces that we won that battle in the streets. The issue of the punitive Finance Bill 2024, it was, dropped because, youths came out on the streets and, we protested against the punitive Finance Bill 2024. But when it comes to the issue of, the reconstitution of the cabinet, which was done, and then I believe, we never won it, because this is something we were very vocal about, that, this guy needs to dissolve the cabinet. Then after dissolving the cabinet, he brought in some other people who were in the previous, cabinet. And then, to make matters worse, he would brought in some members of the opposition. Is that what Gen Zs were advocating for? We needed fresh minds, fresh faces, people with integrity. Because, even if you check at the current cabinet now, so many of them have, questionable integrity issues. So I think it's very important for us now to come together, because, the direction we are heading to, it's very easy for us to get disintegrated if we don't have, a common cause to pursue. Because, most of us, we've been calling even for recalling of the members of parliament. And also, let's take, for instance, now the IEBC is reconstituted, and then maybe, we pursue that course of recalling some MPs. Then what happens thereafter? We need to have, an option. An MP has been recalled, because all these people are equal. I was telling some other people that, during the handshake regime, there were some punitive taxes or some punitive laws which were passed by that time by the people who are now in opposition now. Now, the people who are, in opposition now were the ones who are wielding power that time. And the people who are in opposition by that time during the handshake regime are the one now who are wielding power now. So these people are the same. The two big political factions we have in our nation are the same. So it's very important for us, and it is an urgent need for us as youth or as a nation, because this matter now does not only involve youth, this is a matter which involves all Kenyans. There's need for us to come up together as youths. We form a people-centered, what I believe in is a people-centered movement, a movement which is being governed by the people. There's no decision which is being made at the central committee without the knowledge of the people. Then I think with that, we will be heading to the right direction as a nation. So that's also what I wanted to add on that, in respect to the issue I've raised. And, for us now, the way I've mentioned for you, they've approved the name called Party of Freedom and Change. There are still political parties that approved the name. And I never wanted to begin the registration process without involving the people. I'll only begin the registration process once I bring in all the people with good ideas so that we progress this cause forward. Thank you so much.
I think we can have more speakers. You guys down there, you can request. It's your boy Psycho. I lost my main account. Niko hapa, mnifollow kindly.
Jesse, si upande huku juu. Ni nini? Jesse, hebu kuja huku juu please. Mahala, I don't know if to say this, but the challenge we are facing like a countries now, it's kind of we are circulating in the same circle because we rejected the finance bill, and for a person who doesn't follow the constitution, take the mandate on his hands to withdraw it, but according to constitution he can't. And now they are bringing that shit behind the back door again, and some clauses have been added in it. That's how oppressed we are. I'm not against forming a party, but I won't talk about a party. Also, you see, like we are circulating in one area. We do this nigger god does that, we come again to the starting point. Now we are going to reject the finance bill again, as well as rejecting the bad governance. And we are the leadership. You talked about integrity and what. We need new faces there. We don't want recyclement. Why would you take an MP and go post him as a CS? We don't want those things. We need new faces there up, kutoka juu kwenda chini. I think hata sijui naongea nini.
We've discussed this in Rastan's space a few times.
However, if you can hear me. Oh damn.
So the last 2 weeks we were discussing this, and it's the whole idea of we need to be very active, very proactive with the things that we see occurring right now. Like the whole thing, like Eric Omondi is initiating because he's very serious about this. Amending the referendum. We need to be involved in this because he's going around collecting signatures, and I applaud him for what he's doing because personally, I did the math and I saw why we honestly need to reduce the government. And I don't want to go over that today. But we need to participate actively in this thing. I'm piggybacking on what Toria said. If we're going to have new faces in office, we have learned from history. Somebody like Ruto has had a 30-year career in politics. We have to stop that. We need to limit it to 2 terms only, 1 position. The whole idea of having people run for women rep, then go back after they've done their time and run for MP, do their time. And all this time you're paying them a lot of money. You don't even want me to give you the numbers because that shit triggered me a lot. Then after that, they go up again. They can run for governor. We need to stop this shit. Like if you run for 2 terms, You ran for 2 terms for one position, and that's the end of your career. We have to stipulate and stop this and create limitations and boundaries to where we are not going to let you sit in office, steal and steal and steal and steal for 30 years. No, we have to put a limitation to that. And the only way to do that is this referendum that they're proposing, the new one. We keep saying, young people, why are we not being selected to go into office? Why are we not being selected to go into office? We have a thief in office. He wants to surround himself with fellow thieves. But there's nowhere it's stipulated that if you've been an MP, you cannot be a CS, because obviously it's a conflict of interest. Look at this guy, Courier. This guy, he just appointed again after he fired him as a CS. Now he's back as an advisor. If you sucked as a CS, how are you good as an advisor? What are you advising him about? And then I was seeing recently, he has 6 advisors, the president, 6. The bill per year in salary for those 6, 1.1 billion. Like, what kind of an idiot do we have in office that needs so many advisors? Your country is sinking. You have no money to even pay teachers, but you need 6 advisors. Like, what the fuck? Why can't they be volunteers if they care about the country that much?
And they actually spoke about austerity measures. At TO, we are going to reduce the number of advisors. Suddenly, they are literally employing advisors. Alafu, what happened to Kenya where some people can just wake up and put more people in position, posts that never existed before? Yani, this person, I actually believe he's not okay. If we had like a procedure to push him to be tested mentally, I would want to go for that. But now, we have to fight it the way it is. And then I think there's this, if you've seen the government bloggers, the ones that have been paid to, because that's the way they think this will be solved. They are playing the tribalism card. I just want us to really refrain from entertaining any tribal talks. We've been tribeless. Let's keep it tribeless, because they're starting to say Kikuyus are the ones doing this. Oh, Kikuyus fought for independence. Oh, Kalenjin said this. Oh, Luo said. You're going to be fighting amongst yourselves socially to kiibiwa huko. They want us to be preoccupied. They've been delaying the dissolved parliament because it has to have, I think, 40 days notice before they actually make a decision. But do you see the CJ coming out here, a whole chief justice coming out to cry for justice? What is this what is this we are doing in this country? Why is the chief justice coming to cry for justice? It is just like delaying tactics, making us talk about Kikuyus, Kalenjins, Luos, whatever, and people are falling for it. I just need us to know they are using the tribal card. Please, let's keep it tribeless. Tribes is not, no one is exempted from that new funding model. No one, absolutely no one. Regardless of your tribe, we will all suffer. Paying for your children for that, or paying for yourself for that. So let's keep it tribeless. We need to remember our tribeless slogan.
Small, I think hiyo yenye umeongelelea tribe about tribal clashes, it's one of the leading things that is trying to separate and disrupt the movement now, because even they are playing 2 games. It's tribal game and also blame game. I saw the chief justice anaitwa Martha Koome, mama. She came outside and said, I don't watch news because this and this. So since the day we started rejecting the finance bill, as I watch news, they have never stood in solidarity with the people, with the fallen soldiers, for even at least for people who lost their lives to get justice. They've never talked about it. Now she has watched the news. She can see the rising of the fees. She can talk about it now. Why do they take us for a fool? Now they are putting the blame on the media. We are not going to fall for that trap of blame game. We are past those blame games. Another person saying Gikuyu this, Gikuyu that, Gikuyu, Kalenjins, I hate that. Tribeless, I don't have any tribe like I relate with everyone in Kenya. I'm a Kenyan, that's what I know. I'm a patriot. I'm a citizen of Kenya. And we are going to, if we just start talking about tribes and whatever, man, we are going to be done. Because we're going to be fighting among ourselves. We are not going to move any step. The political or the higher class now is blaming. The Shagwa the other day was saying the MPs have betrayed the president, CG, what. That's bullshit. They want the MPs to carry their cross. Everyone should carry their own cross. Whatever blame or whatever you've done, just carry it on your own. Stop these blame games. We are not going to fall for that. So tuone MP ni wabaya, tuachane na Zakayo na mwenye anachukua deni ya maziwa ya 14 million. Like office of the president, it owes 3 million. Like welcome to Kenya, where yani one person is capable of funding 204 MPs to vote yes with 2 million each, but there is no money to pay a JSS teacher, only 17,000. One person is capable of funding millions to Aki Kenya. We need to wake up. They have money to go and bribe student leaders 25,000 each, and only a JSS teacher needs not even 20,000, 17. They can't even employ. They don't have money for this, but they have money for producing or creating or whatever they are doing, new monies. Aki, I feel so bad. Such a fucked up government. All criminals. I came to realize if you want to be a leader in Kenya, if you want to hold any political position, just be involved in scandals, be involved in criminal cases. Joho is a drug dealer. Sijui mwenye aliyeko wa education ni rapist. Sijui huyu side chick. Ama tuanze si wote kutukue ma side chick wa Zakayo, ama ndo tupate positions kwa gava, ndo to lead gava yetu. It's so bad. Tunaelekea wapi? Like some few individuals have taken the country as if it belongs to them. They are the one who are controlling everything in this country. We don't have a say in our own land. We don't have the freedom that the Constitution gives us. We don't have any democracy. We are shouting out as our democracy. We don't have any weapons, but we are being killed, abducted, day in, day out. The police, the motherfuckers, they don't know their work. They are trying to silence everyone who is trying to talk. For them, we are talking for them. They are silencing us through every means. Minerals are being ferried from Kenya, being taken outside. They are refined, making things. Those things are imported back in Kenya. They are sold at high prices, taxes raising. Men, hatufai kuwa tunaishi hii life. Hatufai hata kidogo. Hii ni kutuweka pahali hatuwezi fikia. Wazazi wetu watalipa aje mbolea manze na nishonde ya ng'ombe akishwali. Me, I feel so bad. Your finance bill, it has come back through the back door. Na imewekwa clauses zingine za ufala. Sai going to demonstration is it's kinda crime in Kenya. Like utakuwa unalipa bail ya 100K. And those are the kind of members of parliament we elected to go and represent us. Too bad. Justice. Welcome in Kenya, where a Chief Justice also cries for justice.
Surely.
What a fucked up government, surely. Yani, hey. You know, sometimes I sit down, I just reconnect everything that has ever happened since 25th of June. I cry kwa sababu hatuna peace, hatuna rights, hatuko safe in our own land. We ain't safe at all. Not at home, not in the roads. Unalipa sijui toll, unalipa sijui rent ya land, sijui unalipa, hey my God, mwadhani. Hata hewa yenye tunapumua jameni tunalipa indirectly. Juu sahi tukiletewa hizi mimea zenye uwezi recycle hizo bengu, si lazima ununue tena bana, na tunapata oxygen inatoka kwa plants. Manze this too much now. This too much.
Yeah, you can hear the frustrations of the youths of this nation. So like everybody is complaining. So that's why I was saying our people just need to have a structured movement where we can hear our voices. And, because our main purpose for now, I think, is now just take over the affairs of this nation. And we have a very rare opportunity on 10th of August, 2027. It will be the best opportunity so far. The way NAC did it in 2002. I just want to correct my sister who said, NAC is the opposition which came together in 2002 to remove, the dictatorial Kanu leadership from power in 2002. And I think we have a very good opportunity in 2027, on 10th of August 2027, to take over the affairs of this nation through having a structured movement which is governed by the people, and the people will be the ones who will make decisions in that movement. We do a proper public participation. We do civic education so that we can even reach the people who are on the ground, our mothers who are not on X spaces and are not on socials. We reach them and, we educate them. We do proper civic education on what is going in this country so that they also get to understand, the consequences of electing a government which does not listen to the people. And I think with that, we will have a very good opportunity to have more youths in positions in 2027 so that we can be the leaders of this nation. So I just call upon each and every one of us. We just come together as a people, and then everything will be okay. That's what I believe in. Maybe if someone has got a different opinion, can also.
Yes, I do. I do have a bit of a different opinion, because we are not dealing with our regular kind of thief presidents that we deal with. What is going to be happening between now and 2027? And if you ask our neighbors, Uganda, how many times have they? I don't believe dictators are removed via ballot. It is just a thing that I did not create. They are mostly not removed via ballot. If we're talking about our dear Moi, how many demonstrations had happened? How many things had happened? Like, it was not just via ballot happily ever after. I personally believe, like, what was the reason for the 2007 post-election violence? It was stolen in broad daylight. Everyone knew that was a stolen vote. We knew it was stolen, but what happened? The political class just, we will kill each other, and then the political class just plays their small games politically, and then we will still end up with the same people we are dealing with right now. I strongly believe this guy, he's crazy. He's going to hang on to power regardless. You think he's going to accept, oh, thank you, you guys didn't vote me in? And then you see now we have the influence of this ambassador that thinks she's the queen of the world. So I don't think it is going to be as fun as we make it to be. This has to be a forceful removal. It is the reality. We are literally in a war. I do not believe 2027, I don't believe he's going to be taken out via ballot. I do not believe heriaibe muwane nyi wote na uwe wenye wamebaki. He will cling onto that power like no one's business. Dictators are not removed via ballots. Ask our dear neighbors, Uganda. That's what I think.
I can add with the small. Small is
Actually, I think all what you are saying is correct, because this nigger doesn't have any plans of moving from the power. He's trying to use every means to remain in the power, and he wants to change the system of Kenya. Like, you find no election after 5 years. It's kind of you rule until. He wants to make it kind of hereditary. We need to fight, and we can never think of relenting to say 2027. Man, we are fucked up. Unaona ati unapiga kura kwa gari, hiyo ni ushenzi aina gani? Si unaingia tu kwa hiyo gari unaenda ukiendanga. Ai bana, wanatuona wajinga na tumewaonea ingo. Tuliwaona tene.
I can agree with small. elections are not elections zote za Africa zinakuwa control na the West and the globalists. So hata mkifanya hata nini ati mnaenda kutokea ati 2027 si wote, those elections will be rigged by high technology. Leo amtaelewa vile 2022 ilifanyika. So the thing is sasa kama citizens we must stick kwa hizi policy wanataka kutuwekea. We understand them, we educate these citizens, then we to educate them so that hii kitu inaingia kwa kichwa na wanajua hizi policies haitafanyika in Africa, because they know when they control Africa they control everything. So hii mambo ya siasa, mambo ya election, hiyo sahau, hiyo ipite na wakati. You must focus on these policies they are bringing in, these bad recurrent policies they are bringing about controlling food, the population, the UN Charter they are bringing. They want to control the rural areas. They want to control all the information. You must come out clean and have a civil education on it. Because siasa ni kama reso. Ukionga reso unaona kama ni real, lakini it's a scripted reality. Kama sasa unachezea tu scripted reality, you don't know what is real, what is fake. So there's a hero and there's a villain. Kitambo mlikuwa kudogo, mlikuwa unaona Stone Cold versus The Rock. Kuna ule mtu ulikuwa unapenda. So mkidhani ule mtu unapea unachia, unakuwa fan of it. So that's why kuna mtu anapenda Rao, kuna mtu anapenda Ruto. So that's why kuna hiyo mentality ya kusupport ya siasa. So mkisha support, that's how they make their money as in politics. So when you know umeshajua hizi mambo za global agenda, hizi policies they are bringing, they are now frightened. Because hata kaa leo have you noticed vile Ruto alikuwa pale hiyo Thanksgiving, have you noticed that hiyo camera hata ikuonyesha the crowd, all the scenario ilikuwa tu focus on the characters. They're not onyeshi the crowd vile wako crowd imefichwa. Sasa unasikia tukele hiyo ni pro wrestling, hiyo sasa ni reso. Sasa nadhani watu wanachia kumbe is a paid theater, ni cinema, yani movie mshajua vile movie na actiwa. Sasa wanajuanga movie game kile kali. So lazima watu wajue hiyo policy. Election is a no go zone. 2027 hiyo ni noma, hiyo hakuna kitu mtaenda, hiyo imeisha. So sasa hii game tu ni nao, na kama game imeisha nao, hiyo imeisha kabisa, hamtaiona tena. Thank you.
Jeff, huwezi iba votes 1 million. So hata kama hizo bills tutasimamisha, lakini 2027 we will try our best. We need change. So kama tumerelent at 2027 as no goes on, hatuwezi toboa.
Unajua 2022 iliibwa aje? Ulijua 2022 iliibwa aje? Ulijua 2022 iliibwa aje?
Unaona, Jeff,
unajua hata hiyo 202 hiyo tunasema it was influenced by the US. It was influenced by the West. Hata kama ati nini, bado hiyo West wali influence. Siasa ya Kenya, siasa ya the world is influenced by the CIA. Na wezi watu kama they know what is going on and they know the climate.
But if that's the case, Jeff, I see what you're saying, and we're not disagreeing with you. We all agree. All elections are bound to be influenced. There's going to be issues with every election, but it still doesn't mean that you discourage people from voting. That's not what the point is. Okay, let's go back. So the last election, what year was that?
The last election was 2022.
Yeah, but now the following one, there's a reason why they are very keen on suppressing the Gen Z vote. There is a very reason why. There's a very reason why they're holding on to your ideas. There's a very reason they're trying to make sure they start interfering and screwing up with the election right now. Because they already know that the numbers of the people who are voting at the time that qualified to vote is not going to be the same the next election. Majority of Gen Z will be able to vote. You have Gen Alpha being able to vote too, I believe. And that's going to be the majority of the vote. But my point is, if the election, I agree with what you're saying, but still, let's not discourage people from voting.
I'm not discouraging people voting.
Yeah.
I'm not discouraging people
elections have failed. Even in the US right now, election year is always the shittiest year. They all come up with strategies to suppress the vote, to discourage people from voting. So we understand what you're saying. We're not disagreeing. We have plan A, plan B, and even if that's plan C, it does not mean that we dismiss it. We have to start getting ready for it too.
Okay. So I agree. I agree with the voting, but I don't trust the process of voting. The process of voting, I keep it at least at 20%, because even if you vote even 1 million votes, those things will be suppressed, like what they have done in Maduro. Maduro was,
Yeah.
was Maduro was the Gen Z supported the opposition, but now the opposition won. But then Maduro suppressed his way back to power with the Supreme Court. But now even now the protest now it has come down. So Maduro is back in power through the Gen Z. The Gen Z, even though waliprotest, hiyo hata ilikuwa 1 million. Unaona mpaka vile walikuwa mpaka wamebeba hata mikono, na sasa walisakama wakaenda pa wakishaingia kwa Supreme Court. Ukishaingia kwa Supreme Court, game imeisha. Game is done. Game bado mtu anarudi.
Jeff, Jeff,
Na kuelewa
Jeff,
speak.
okay. Let me Jeff, kumbuka polling station wezi wenye wana ukuanga hapo maclerks and all the agents, the age limit inakuanga tu Gen Zs. Mimi sijaiona boomers huko ndani. So when you speak about that inatakuwa rigged, hata kama chini tuta make sure kama ni MPs tume change everything hapo kwa MPs, tume manage ku occupy parliament yenye tume change wenye wanalili wenye wako huko ndani ni Gen Zs. Itatusaidia hata kama president hata kuwa ni Gen Z, lakini wenye wako parliament wana change hizo bills na whatever ni Gen Zs. Lakini mimi kenye I hope hiyo 2027 itakuwa na change. Ndio maana unaona hapa watu wana regroup. Umeona kama Raila sasa hivi wanataka kusupport Ruto 2027 kwa sababu wamejua Ruto hawezi toboa bila Raila. So wameshaona, hata ndio maana unaona wamekuja pamoja. Wanataka kuaccumulate hata hii election na 2027 tunapiga hesabu hii. They want to increase the term limit. Hiyo ni kenye niko nayo sure. Hiyo ndio hesabu wako nayo peke yake. Kwa sababu wamejua election nao hawezi toboa.
So the only thing,
giving them time could be the worst thing that we will ever do, because they will do literally everything and everything. You've seen this guy is already campaigning. You've seen you think he will just sit back and wait for Gen Z to vote against him? What was the reason for 2007 violence? Because I think we quickly forget. And even which one was the one in to vote twice? Like the election we said it's not valid because it was like extremely rigged until we had to go for another election like in 2 months. And it still happened. Like, I don't think you understand the kind of person you're dealing with. We're not dealing with the kind of person mwenye ataka tu angoje ashindwe. And the fact that if you saw the photos for Bomas, you will see this Meg lady that mwenye anatu stress akili, the US embassy lady. You will see her very happily saying hi to this our main headache of today. So I don't understand when we say let's all vote for the next election. I don't think it should be in 2027. That's just my point. We should vote. We should honestly go to vote, but if we give him 3 years, 3 years, you see the way he's played us in 2 months, amerudisha finance bill, amerudisha literally every CS. Mnadhani 2027 atakuwa anakaa hapa for 3 years anangoja Gen Z waende wa vote against him? I promise you itaturamba. Plus, within these 3 years, JKI is still being sold. That is a lot of human trafficking. I'm sorry to say it bluntly. It is a lot of organ trafficking. It is a lot of our minerals going. This is not your regular thief. The things he will have done by 2020. See what is happening in the education sector. Schools are about to open. Teachers are not going to school. The students that are protesting against their fees. Agriculture, we've been sending our dear farmers fake fertilizers. You think that's going to change? Now we are supposed to inject our livestock with what? And then all these GMOs that have been, by the time 3 years are done, let me tell you, we will all be extremely poor to the point of, actually, we will sell our votes for 50 bob. We will be suffering, my friends. I do not see a future with this. The amount of things that are going to happen after we sell our airport, the amount of things that are gonna happen to this Kenya, my friends, no. I'm sorry, but I'm not for 2027. I think Finya, because we don't talk enough about our successes. Iku Finya, the digital activism that you're doing, because clearly hapa hawezi to magoons. Finya kila mahali. We've done things overnight. We've done things overnight. Finya. Now JKA are going to stop that threatening the strike. I hope our just stop. But Finya, we are doing actually a lot of things right. I don't think we should just wait for 2027. He's not waiting. He will do literally everything and anything. He's capable of literally sending a sniper to you if you're uko hapo kwa njia yake. He burnt people in a church in Kiambaa. We cannot forget these things. You're not dealing with a normal kind of person when you, oops, okay, let me wait for 2020. No, he's not trying to do that. We are in a very serious point of life. If we sit back and wait for 2027, kitaturamba hatutamini. That is my point of view, and I don't think we should focus on how to finye. First, we need a functional parliament. We cannot be here kila saa, is it at midnight, representing ourselves, and we elected people to represent us. These people need to work for us. Hizo bills zote zitapitishwa, and there are more than 10 bills. More than 10. These people, yani and then the worst thing they are doing is changing the law. If we are talking about people that were just, doing nonsense, but they're changing the law to change it back, we are going to suffer. We are going to suffer by 2027. Hata mtaamini tulikuanga wapi. I really think we should finya. Something will give.
Yes, I agree with that one. Hiyo kufinya sasa hiyo ndo sasa the good strategy. So Nairobi washahepa. Nimenotice Nairobi ameanza kuhepa. They are not speaking Nairobi. They are only speaking in villages. So the thing is, how can we, pale watakuwa si pia tuko hapo, pale wanakuwa si pia tuko hapo. Sasa hapo ndo challenge sasa ndo inafaa tufikirie sasa. Wakiongea tunachapa booze, tunachapa ile kelele yetu. Wakiongea tuko hapo pia na hao. Tuna counter hapo kwa village. Sasa kama hiyo Luo Nyanza zare inaniheka mbaya sasa vile roho ameenda huko na tunasema tuko gava. Kwa hiyo tumesaidia pale Luo Nyanza. Inaenda kuisha hapo ndo sasa hiyo next week tukue hapa kama Gen Z. Tunaekolia hiyo disruption hiyo ya plan yao za ya hiyo next week watahepa. Hiyo ndo sasa strategy ya kufikiria sasa ya kufinya mpaka wanaanza kuhepa. Sasa vile Nairobi hawana space, so tufikie kwa hiyo villages. Hapo ndo challenge sasa, hapo ndo tuongee kutoka hapo.
Jeff, so past weekend we've been planning memorial huko nini. I'm glad Small brought that up. We were talking about a memorial in Kiambaa na inafaa kuwa coming Saturday. That is the one thing I know we have been actively planning. Psycho can give us an update on that.
Can I say something? Okay, thank you. Let me just comment briefly. Okay, it's also good to discuss because I've had several opinions from the youths. Some are for the formation of the political party, and then others are of the opinion that we should just continue pressing the government to address the needs urgently. But as I did mention earlier on when I was making my opening remarks, that every battle has got its own solution. And I did mention
It sounds like it dropped. Do you guys hear him?
No, I can't hear him. But I think the issue of the political party is not a very immediate issue that you're facing. I think, sorry, Mahal, I think maybe you can drop and come back, and then I think the host and co-hosts could bring you to speak. But I don't see how that's like a pressing issue. I'm sorry to say, because the political parties that are there and the political leaders that are there should be functioning. Like, we already have political parties, we already have leaders. We cannot ignore the fact that they are there. So why can they not work? Okay, if they really do not work, then we will be pushed to the level of, but I don't see how that's a priority. I'm sorry, if someone please explain to me. I don't see how that's a priority. A political party can literally not
No.
be
I
a
mean, we agree.
priority.
It is not a priority right now. But you brought up something that
Mm-hmm.
actually I agree with. You said we need
Okay.
to continue inciting people because we say number one, we want to remove him from office. Clearly, the only way to do it is an uprising. So you have a great point that we need to focus on that, and that's why I was saying we have been planning this memorial for the church that was burnt down in Kiamba. That's what we have been working on for the last couple of days. So that's why I was trying to say that Psycho can give us an update because we brought it up last week. It's supposed to be next week, Saturday. And the plan is people to go and have a memorial there because we need to remind people what this man did. Like you said, the best way to do it is to keep triggering people. We have to remind them he killed Gen Z. People seem to have taken a break from thinking and talking about that. So let's remind him. Let's remind them. We keep reminding people. So we were planning a memorial on Saturday in Kiamba, and that's what I need us to talk about. I hear there's a lot of things planned for the upcoming week, which is great. So, what do you guys think about that? Like, what do you see? I mean, so what's your response to that?
I'd really like that because we need to remind people. I don't know the amount of voodoo that was put in churches to cleanse such an occasion. I genuinely didn't know about the Kiamba until after, but I am just wondering how the hell did we forget about this? But I think yes, I will definitely find my
So
way to
yeah, so the
Kiamba.
plan was we
Mm-hmm.
had even started raising some funds, and the plan was we get a monument. There were 35 victims. I was doing my research today. I found the name of the pastor of the church because it looks like the church people forgot about that whole saga. So it was abandoned for 13 years. From what I was reading, I don't know how for sure this or how factual this is. A guy there who used to be a pastor decided to just rebuild the church. So he rebuilt a simple structure. So it's there. So the plan was we have a memorial there. Today we were trying to find somebody who can get the contact numbers for that pastor. So we at least let them know that we'll be going. The other initiative was if we could find at least some people there in that town who were personally affected, like victims of the whole thing. And then we can commemorate with them. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we were working on, and that's what we've been discussing for the last couple of days. This morning, that's what we were talking about. We managed to find names so that we have a day. It's Saturday next week. I have a friend who, because the thing is, we need for this to work and to sensitize people.
Mweru. Oh yeah. Sorry for cutting you short. Giving just a minute. Yeah, we had a form ya kwenda nini huko kulichomekewa. So our plan was to create a monument na kuweka hiyo memorial kwao, because I believe hiyo kitu itakuwa kwa news and we have to make it large. It will be next week Saturday, because next week najua it will be a long day because of the strikes after strikes ya walimu ya ma students ya ma protest. Next week gonna be a huge week manze. Hata account yangu ikienda bado mi na push stories na siasa. I won't change my content. Let them report me. I won't change any content. I'll continue talking about protests, inciting people, telling people to go to a peaceful protest. So there's a number up there for donations ya our memorial yenye tumeweka. So kindly any guy down there mwenye feel touched ama mwenye tu akona the small contribution, kindly you can donate to hapo juu. It's a serious thing. We've been doing some donations since yesterday. This is the second day. So Those na wale wako abroad, you will DM me. Juu najua yenyu lazima mwitishe jina ndo itume. You will DM me, I'll send the name. Yeah. Thank you so much. I can also see Shiro, you're there. Kwana tia Shiro, you're good?
Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm Shiro. I'm glad to be participating today with you all because Nemeskia, all of you really have great ideas and everyone is really focused on a brighter future. And I'm really, what can I say? I'm really encouraged by that. I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen after the first few months. But I did want to answer a question I had one of the ladies asking. Something is not a priority. And it's totally right. But I'm sorry, the level of guys these guys are playing is chess, not checkers. So if you're going to be on this fight, you have to look at the long game and the short game. The short game can be physical. The short game can be these things that you're doing with, the memorial and all other stuff and, definitely reading your policies. But the long game is overturning a regime. And that's the reason it's important to have a party. So you can't just be like, okay, let's just focus on survival right now. You might win the battle, you might lose the war. I think it's important that you have your eyes on both the balls. What's going on right now, which is intense and critical, and then you look at the long game, which you only have a few years to be able to go toe to toe with someone like Ruto, who someone says has over 30 years of experience. So it's 2024, and you have only 3 years to learn everything that guy knows in 30 years to be able to beat him. So you're going to have to multitask. So there is no such thing as something small, a small job. That this is not critical enough that we can't pay attention to it right now. Everyone gets into class 1, you focus about what you're doing on that grade. But at the end of it all, the game plan is to get out having passed your KCPE. So same strategy here. You guys can't just think about, and when I say you guys, I mean we're all in this together. But I also happen to be in the States. So I'm not in the ground like most of you. So lazima mkuwa mkifikiria about not just what you're doing now, but what you have to do. You have to be a few steps ahead at the same time. What you're doing now is not where your thought process is now. Your thought process is far ahead. You're just crossing out the tasks as you're going along. So it's very important for you guys to start thinking differently than you've been thinking and start acknowledging that now for everything you're doing has a plan, and that requires coming together, because if every one of you is having their own game plan, then you're not going to be able to do that. The co-host here mentioned a little while ago that it took several parties, all the opposition, coming together to take out KANU. One-mindedness means one of everything, one partnership. That means one party. There has to be a strategy. People can't just be doing whatever they want to do all over the place and expect to win. You're going to need to be one, like a body, doing everything at the same time, on the same page. And so no one is looking at it as right now is not critical. But just because you're not living tomorrow doesn't mean that you can't plan for it. And yeah, I think there's gonna be a really high chance for success. And that's all we can do. We do the best that we can do, and then we leave the rest to God. But we have to do our best. What's on our plate right now? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shiro. Before Jeff talks, I just wanted to clarify something. I lost my other account via suspension, which was Psychosins. So I'm using this one. It's my backup. So y'all can follow me. Yeah. Jeff, talk to us.
I just want to say that kuna kitu pia nyuma hapa sana. Ukiingia hapa Azimio TV sai live, kuna birthday party ya Mama Ida sasa inaendelea. Hii birthday party mpaka Joe ana attend, governor is attend. Hii inakaa tu pesa, yani ni kama tu is all for the rich. Na nyinyi mko tu hapo as the poor, bado mnastruggle na hizo polisi. Yani hao wanafurahi ni kama tu Kenya tu iko sawa bado. Ukiangalia tu yani una feel tu disgusted, unataka hata kusubscribe kwa Azimio TV, yani I don't know where Kenya is going. Na sasa tuko na madeni nyingine kali hapo, watu washaflash hizo birthday parties hapo tayari. Raila is attending even there hapo. Joe is there. The governor of Mombasa is there. How is this representing Kenya? I don't know. I don't know where Kenya is going.
I mean, they're completely tone deaf because they in their perspective, we're just idiots. They have already figured out everything and we don't know what we're doing. So I think I agree with Small. Let's keep pushing and pushing and triggering people. I like what you guys did. You guys have accomplished so much already since you started protesting. So much. You have put them on their toes. And I mean, I'm just gonna go back to the whole Kiamba story. I mean, that thing brought my eyes. I mean, I couldn't stop crying when I was reading about that. And it reminded me of the things that were happening in Rwanda during the genocide. And the worst part is the shit that was happening in Rwanda, we saw it carrying out in Kenya during the post election violence. So let's focus on what Small said, in the sense that the priority number one is getting him out, and at this point the only way is a whole uprising. So in terms of Kiamba, I mean, I can just say, as far as plotting the whole thing, how far we've gone and what we've managed to do, we've raised some funds. Yes, we are getting a monument. I was so angry and triggered that I wanted to be so petty and see if we can even get his photo on that monument so people can remember he's responsible for this shit. According to the Constitution, if you have legal issues going on, you don't even qualify to run for office. But you know what? Let's even forget about that Constitution, because clearly the people who are in office probably have never even read it. So, I mean, we should not expect them to follow, exercise anything in there. We have to take this shit by their balls. We have to grab them by their balls and get them out. So I agree with Small. So Kiamba is supposed to be next week Saturday. Can we at least, as much as we're airing our perspectives and views, I just want to hear your perspective and how you can help in coordination or stuff like that.
And I think the one thing that worked for us before we went out on the 25th, if you remember guys, it's how much they underestimated us. Nani ndio amesema about the Azimio party, the thing that is happening, yes, Mama Aida. You know, they think they've now like restored everything and now they can go back to they underestimated us. That is what worked for us. Let them keep thinking, let them be fooled and keep thinking that everything is going right. Let them keep arranging this Harmony for Haiti concert. I'm sure that's going to be cancelled. Otherwise, it's going to be maandamano. Guys, that concert for Haiti, we are going with flags, a bottle of water, and firimbis. because we cannot be doing harmony for Haiti. We don't know anything that happened to the Kware victims. We don't know anything that happened to the people in Gidurai. We're going to sing harmony for Haiti. I'm sorry, I stand with Haiti, but I think there's pressing issues here. If they want a concert for Haiti, they go do it in Haiti. It is just that simple. Otherwise, we're going to turn it into maandamano. And the fact that they are just celebrating and thinking everything is okay, I promise you it's going to work in our favor. Let them think everything is calm because they are used to that. They think, oh, the opposition is here, now we are ready. Kiamba, I completely support it. Let's trigger memories. Let's trigger the emotional part. We're doing civic education, yeah? That's why we are on halftime. We are doing civic education. We are getting people to the mood that we have been as I'm Gen Z. So as Gen Z, to the mood that we've been, we want to get more people to that mood. And an eruption is inevitable. There's going to be an eruption. I believe it with my chest. We just need to get people there. So I really support the Kiamba. I'd want to also hear more speakers speak about the Kiamba and tell me if we are showing up now. Yeah, on Saturday.
Hey guys, regardless of our planned protest next week on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, we're having that memorial for Kiamba. So any donations should be channeled towards that number on top of us. It will go a long way towards helping others, and you'll be indeed appreciated and blessed. We had a Miss Kenya. She was former Miss Kenya. She joined us. Now she is a bit Miss USA in their state, and it's always a pleasure hosting such big guys from abroad. Thank you so much, Miro, for bringing her to this space. We'll definitely appreciate. Yeah, so I think we can have many speakers up here. Kina JM Karaoke, Sue has been here with us for quite a while. There's Elena, there's Tony down there, there's Sheldon. T-Bag is around. I bet this is the original T-Bag or this the other one. Joanne, you can talk to us pia huko chini. Heisenberg, my guy. My account was suspended bro. Niko hapa sasa. Baba Jack nakuona, mnifollow by the way. Yeah, mnifollow. Mkuja huku tuongee. I don't know if we the people umebonga. Feel some.
Before somebody else says something about Kiamba, small. Tunapanga nini hiyo monument and then some flowers. Watu waweke hapo, waende waweke roses. Even if it's one rose per person, we have 100 people, that's 100 roses. The only thing I also need is how to get the media there because that story needs to be covered. And if we can get a few victims so they can talk here.
Niko na media naweza leta.
Perfect, yeah. I have a friend who works in an international media house. We need people to be reminded in the whole world what this idiot did.
I honestly love that because I think there's some level of amnesia that hit Kenyans that I cannot figure out. We need to remember. We need to remember the kind of person this person is. We need to remember we are not fighting with a normal kind of human being. And the fact that he's just but a puppet now, it's even way worse. So we need to remember. I will push for that Kiamba. I don't know. I've not seen posters. See, we start. Psycho. Where can we get the posters? Because at least that one will also get to TikTok. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got a friend who's a graphic manager, so nitamwambia atengeneze posters so we can start sharing by tomorrow morning.
And then your monument, what are we doing about that? Should we buy one that is already made? We just go place it there? Because if finding people on the ground who can construct one is becoming a challenge, you can just buy one that is already constructed. We put the number of people and we say in memory of this, and people go there and lay the flowers there.
I like the idea of the ready-made one to avoid whatever drama that might happen on the ground. I'd prefer the ready-made one, but open for suggestions as well. But that would be amazing.
Do you mind
That would be really
I
nice.
could post your picture and it to me because I was also looking at suggestions of if we're to get a ready-made one, how big or how simple we want it. Because we just want to keep it simple, but we want it to be a force of record.
I think I'll post it tomorrow after we have generated a good graphic for Kiamba on Saturday. Nizi drop zote at the same time.
Yeah, and then wambia watu wakuje and they can bring each a rose. Even if it means we buy bunches of roses for people who just have enough money for fair, that's fine. If we have to provide the roses, I'm good with that. Yep, thank you.
I fully support that. That's basically what this halftime is for. It's for reminding people, it's for rebuilding the consciousness that is within us. That I don't know what happens when people go to churches and they're able to cleanse this guy. So we need to just remind humanity of what that will be a very nice statement to support whatever we are doing, because we have like it's funny, this one guy is the person that we went to Uhuru Park and did the whole cross thing for all the people that have left us, our dear heroes. And then he's the same person for Kiamba. We need to make people conscious enough of the person we are dealing with. We need to stop thinking like he's our regular kind of person. No, no, no. And then I like the idea that we are now reviewing the things that we may have done. We've done a lot of things correctly and we've really pushed, but the idea of thinking of what we could do different from what we know now, let's not be harsh on ourselves. We were not freedom fighters like 2 months ago. We're just living regular lives, but now we can give ourselves grace of what can we do better this time, because season 2 is loading. But we need to, because I feel like the one issue that we've had is the brutality from Hawa Wase. Yani, the brutality has, because I think Nane Nane could have worked, but the brutality has just gotten a bit worse. So if we keep talking about the things that we're going to do different this time, the learnings that we had, like the structure, like the idea of maybe the political structure, I'm not gonna be subscribed to one political party. That's what I know. I will follow the main party, but I will use your discernment, please, when you're voting for someone. Some people belong to parties, but they're idiots, honestly. So yeah, I like the idea that we are reviewing and forming structure as we go. I think another speaker can go.
Hello, can I talk, guys?
Talk, bro.
Hey, thanks, Psycho, Moiro. Yeah, another speaker, small, the rest, Toria, and other listeners. This Kiamba thing is really, really, I love it. I love it, man, because that thing has always been in my heart. I mean, those women and children, I mean, that's treasonous. It's treasonous. And I think we shouldn't stop there, because after this one, we should plan one for Githurai. Don't forget this guy massacred over 400 people in Githurai. I think Beguna said, actually, if you listen to one of the spaces he was, some bodies were even cremated at the barracks there, So, because we already got 247 bodies lying at the city mortuary, so there must be other bodies that were not found. I mean, and some families have never even found their, family, relatives and friends, even at the morgues. So, I think we shouldn't stop there. We should continue. We should do one for Githurai massacre as well. It will be a big, big, big. It will be a big way to communicate with people of what this regime, how this regime is rogue. The guy we are dealing with is just big-headed. He thinks he's a national miracle, but because of he's lost his sobriety and whatever. He's just mad, and I don't even know how to describe the guy. So yeah, so that's my opinion, guys. I don't know what you guys think. Yeah.
I agree.
I think that's good. Yeah, that's
I
good.
agree.
I agree, man. Yeah. Oh, talk to us, Moiro, please.
No, I mean the gist of actually the one thing that sort of led us to coming up with this idea is the fact that it was so embarrassing that he has the nerve to board a plane and waste taxpayers' money, like almost 50 million per trip, to go relaunch fake projects that they already stole the money from. So yeah, I agree. Everywhere he's at a massacre, dude, we go there for a memorial. That's what we'll be doing. I mean, fine, they're trying to come up with ways to prevent and scare people from protesting. Well, fuck that, man. How are you gonna control people for going for memorial? Or you're gonna start banning memorials and prayers now? People can have crusades. That's what you're gonna do? No. So I mean, yeah. So let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep stirring up some shit.
Brilliant. I think yeah, we should keep going, because as I said the other day, this guy, some people are not here. I tell you, because I do a lot of research about these dictators, he is doing exactly what Ferdinand Marcos did in Philippines. You guys, what I'm saying, you might not realize it now, but in a few years' time, because I can tell you what, this guy, I'm not a prophet, but he's going to end up in jail. I'm telling you the truth. He's going to end up in jail. Even if not now, he will not be in power all his life. But at some point, when he leaves that office, guarantee you me, all these massacres he's done in Kenya since 1992, he escaped at the ICC, and he was trying to drag Uhuru in with Mongeke. And to be honest, there was nothing like that. It was rubbish. But the guy, he was involved with the Kiamba thing, and he escaped. And even some of the witnesses that were to witness against him, up to today, they disappeared mysteriously. No one knows what happened to them. I mean, this is what in Italy they call mafia. I mean, he's another. He's got too much money. I think that's too much money. This guy has accumulated a lot of wealth through corruption. If you know, from 1992 when he was in university, that's when he met Moi, and he's been getting money since YK92 when they were with Jirongo. That's when they started all these shenanigans.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because while we are fighting this fight, when we're done, we'll remember that we have to restrict this. You cannot have a 30-year career in politics in Kenya. That is what we need to go forward to. No. You can steal as an MP, you steal as a CS, you steal as a vice president, and now you're stealing as a president. Like, what the fuck is that?
And the scandals are one after the other. This guy is, he was involved with Kenya Pipeline. He tried to sell some land. It went to court. He grabbed the land in where his hotel is in Weston, on Langata Road. He was almost grabbing the primary school next door. The maize scandal, the land in Royos. I mean, it's one thing after another, man. He's, you know, he's just above board with everything. He's never satisfied with what. He's a trillionaire. He's a trillionaire, but he doesn't have enough. He's so greedy, excessively. You know, I don't understand him. You know.
I think we will literally hunt down all the places that they've done this. There's no way we've let go of Kware. There's no way we will let go of Shakahola. You know, there's been so many unaliving that have been happening. We keep forgetting that is how many. You know, it's the same year we had floods. I'm not attributing that to him, but the amount of unaliving that is happening, it's a bit too much. It's a bit too much, and people are getting comfortable with people going away from us. And I'm seeing our dear Mr. Dimples Sakaja is here trying to say they are going to dispose of how many bodies by next week. I'm like, those are people. People are trying to identify, but when are we starting with the impeachment of this guy? But someone else can go with another topic. I can't finish with that, Sakaja, if I start.
Okay, I think we can have a moment of silence for our national anthem as we remember all those who died and those whose bodies are in the city morgue.
Wewe unatafuta tu impressions kuna post zako, hii haita nasa, haitaenda through. So unajua lazima uangalie hizi vitu za chini chini ndio ukwepe nayo, kisha kwepa kisha monetize. Ni hivyo sasa. Sasa kama unaweza focus na ile